I am going to talk about my low carb method for weight loss as a woman over 50. And I'm going to dip down into my origin story and tell you about where I started and where I ended up. Hi, I'm Lori Ballou, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, and I am going to give you a story about how I got started, because I'm really just like you. I used to weigh 235 pounds 27 years ago, and I had PCOS, asthma, allergies. I had the bronchitis, the sinusitis all the time. I had to get on immunotherapy for allergies, and I lived like that. I didn't have any energy. I was depressed. I was anxious all the time. I was overweight. It felt uncomfortable for people to see me. I never had any beautiful clothes. I felt miserable. I did not like living like that. And I'd been overweight as a child, so I'd been in and out of losing weight and into the diet mentality. And I even said today, it's like if I wasn't dieting, I was gaining weight. And so like many of you, what we do is we end up just living a lifestyle of dieting to just keep the weight off so we don't gain it back. But I discovered my low carb method, my holistic low carb method, because I was looking for a solution to lose the weight. So I was 235 pounds. I walked in with my younger son, who was about 8 at the time, and my then husband said, didn't even look at me, he just said, when are you going to lose the weight? Well, I guess at that point, what do? You try to figure out how to lose the weight. So at that point, it was Susan powder, and that was what you did. You get on a low fat diet, and you eat whatever you want as long as there was no fat. And so I did that in exercise, and I did lose the weight. I had PCOS, and I was probably a little bit infertile, so I did lose some weight. Had 2 more children, gained all the weight back in between each of them, and lost the weight again. Kept doing that, but I never felt healthy. I never got rid of the depression. I never got rid of the allergies or the asthma. I never felt like myself again, like there was never any energy. And the thing that really breaks my heart when you feel like that is my oldest son at the time had asked me once, what did I look forward to? What was the most important thing in my day? And all I could think about was going for and taking a nap and laying down and taking a nap. And I said that out loud to him. It broke his heart. And to this day, I just like, gosh, I couldn't be there for my children because I mentally was not in tune with myself. And we all have stress as adults, and especially raising our children. We definitely have the stress, and it's uncomfortable to live that way. And what I love about where I am now, 27 years later, I went through all the diets, learned everything I could, through all the supplements that I could at asthma, and they never went away. I still had to have an inhaler every year. But I started reading all the books on functional health and nutrition. I started buying all the paleo books, all the cookbooks. I started inhaling and reading everything I needed to read. Like, why do we get fat? Why do we get sick? What causes weight gain? How do you lose the weight? Tried all the diets. Did the HCG diet. Tried all the supplements. The astaxanthin, the fucothin, the PGX, all the digestive enzymes. I tried them all. I did everything. And those things can help if you're on the right diet plan. But if you're not, you're just throwing your money away with the supplementations, because, I did do a reel on it or a live, but you can use them to help your blood sugar regulation. But overall, they're not going to help you lose the weight as long as we have sugar in our blood system. As long as sugar and glucose is in the blood, your body will use that for energy or store excess as fat. And so the only way to really get the fat off, which is what I had to learn, because I couldn't eat honey. It would make me have brain fog, and I could just feel myself gaining weight. I would just crave more sugar. I would eat more food. I could not have even something as simple as honey without having to crave more of it, because I thought raw food diet would be really good, but they're full of sugar. I could not eat that. I could not manage my blood sugar. I couldn't just do a vegetarian diet. I could not manage my blood sugar. So if you have blood sugar dysregulation and a metabolism that is slow and sluggish, any amount of sugar and glucose in your blood is going to cause more of a problem until they get to the point where you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. And so you always want to realize that we don't want to just focus on how can we lose the weight, or I just need to lose weight, but what is your real reason? My reason was to feel better in my body and to figure out how not to have asthma and how to feel beautiful in my body again, to wear the clothes that I wanted to wear. And I guess intuitively I realized, I think we all realize this, because we see it on the outside. If we are overweight, it is a symptom of being unhealthy. And so if we get the weight loss under control, then we can feel better in our body and be more energized and be able to focus on a better quality of life and maybe even get more weight loss because we feel more energized. And so that's just super exciting to think about. But so that my origin story was that 225 pounds, overweight since a child, too much, when the food sensitivities I had caused me to have more depression. When we have insulin resistance, we can have depression. And so you want to look at that as how can we correct our diet so that we can get better. And that was what I had to battle. I had to get rid of the food sensitivities. And so working at a natural food store, I had a lot of access to experimenting with supplementation and understanding it, being around all the books. I ordered the books, I read the books, I sold the books, I understood them. I do that today. I'm a voracious reader, constantly listening to something new on Audible. Just went through Rethinking Diabetes with Gary Taubes, and that was 16 hours, but it was really good history on the diabetes and what is not working, basically. Because our bodies were designed to have low insulin levels. And if our bodies are stuck with the sugar switch turned on and high insulin in the blood, high insulin levels turned on and high insulinemia, then we're going to be storing sugar. We're going to be storing fat. We're not going to burn it. And then as we're in that situation, you want to look at this as a disease turned on. And so I come up with this phrase that let's just turn off the sugar switch. Let's just turn off those disease-causing genes in our body and get healthy to lose the weight. And that's how we want to look at it. And yes, it's a change. But you can look at it as shifts. That's what I did. I shifted away from sugar and wheat. I actually started following the bulletproof diet. I started following Dave Asprey. I went to a couple of the bulletproof conferences, and I even listened to their I listened to as much of the lectures as I could, drank the bulletproof coffee in between, and I met a body type scientist who was a 10-year brain cancer survivor because of his diet. He was eating a ketogenic diet. And so I talked to him afterwards. I don't remember why, but I was able to go up to him and talk to him out in the hallway. And he took one look at me. I don't remember what I asked or anything, but he says, for my body type, he says, you cannot eat fruit. And guess what I was eating? I was nibbling on golden berries and goji berries, thinking those were healthy paleo foods. But I was nibbling all the time. If you nibble and eat all the time, you don't give your body time for digestion. You don't give your body time to burn the fat. And so when I finally decided to do low carb, that very day I went to that conference and spoke to that gentleman, I was in. I wanted to feel better in my body. I didn't like how I felt. I wanted me back. I wanted to be excited about life. And I got excited. And it only took a couple of weeks. And when 1 month in, I was down 20 pounds. And so this is a tip for you if you're watching. You could do this on your own. You could do this on your own. And I'm going to give you the information so that you can. But at the same time, my holistic low carb method can get intricate if you want to get it done right and get the results quickly. And if you like accountability, that's what I'm here for, to empower and educate you in holistic functional health so that you get it done right, you get it done this year, and you lose the weight this year. You can lose 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, depending on your body, how strict you are, and if your body's ready to let the weight go. It depends on a few different things, and that's part of what I go over as I have built my low carb method. It is working on the diet, working on the sleep, working on the movement, working on the stress, constantly circadian rhythm balance. That's why I'm outside right now. I've got sunlight, got my feet on the ground, and I'm excited to just come out here and tell you a little bit about my origin story, about where I was and where I've been. And it wasn't fast for me. This was 27 years because I had to figure it out. I had to get pregnant. I got pregnant again, had 2 more kids. I had to figure it out. I had to learn that it was more important to get the results than it was to eat the food that was hurting me. And I'm super excited to be having a new client that is just totally excited. She is going to be losing 30 pounds, and she's going to celebrate and wear those clothes in her closet and then go shopping for new clothes. That's what I always wanted. I wanted to just feel beautiful in my body ever since I was a kid because I was always overweight. And, it hurts. It hurts to be overweight, and you feel shy, and you just don't feel like you could live your best life. If you're other than that and you're super excited about everything, God, that's just amazing. I love it. I wish I could have been more so, but I wasn't. And so I needed to lose the weight to get healthy because my brain didn't function. But that's what a low carb method will do for you too. So this is what will happen. When you start to lower your carbohydrates under 50 grams, when you get it right, when it's clean keto, not dirty keto, and you can't have any wheat, no wheat at all. So no wheat gluten and no fake wheat breads. They are, even if they say low carb and keto, if they have wheat, they are not what you want to eat because you will stall out and you won't get success. So that is critical that you do it that way. Get your carbs under 50. And then just dial it in. Start tracking your macros, weigh yourself every day, get that accountability, tag a friend, and start. And if this is something that's overwhelming for you and you've done it before and it didn't work and you need support, that's what I'm here for. I want everybody to be successful. Everybody can lose the weight. You just have to decide to do it. You have to believe. You have to want it. And you have to make the lifestyle changes. You cannot listen to the medical system. You cannot listen to the FDA and the Diabetes Association because they will keep you sick. And hopefully I could still get this posted after saying all of that. So if you're on medications, check with your doctor. You don't want to change your diet if you feel that you need to check with your doctor. So those are some things that you can do. I am a practitioner, but I am not your doctor. So if you're working with me, I will run 6 diagnostic labs to check for your underlying hidden healing opportunities and to find your hidden weight loss blocks. And then I'm going to analyze those tests, give you a metabolic analysis, and then I'm going to guide you into your low carb method, your holistic low carb method, so that you get the results you need while you work with your doctor if you're on medications. Because when you start a low carb diet, you're not going to need as much medication if you are on medication. So that's something to always think about. You may not be able to dive deep into it really quickly. Maybe it's going to take you a little bit longer. Maybe you need to do it slower. Maybe you need to do 100 carbohydrates so that you can actually get your body back in balance and start getting off medications. It all depends on you and what you want to do and how you're feeling in your body. So there's some different things that you can work on. But yeah, it's just like, just know that we don't have to settle for being overweight. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to have disease in our body. We don't have to accept aging. You do not have to be decrepit. You can stand up straight and go walking, but you have to change and make food shifts. And food shifts can be easy. I mean, if you look at it as, just getting 30 grams of protein at every meal, that's a food shift. Okay, so you're eating vegetables. It's not carb-free. Eat your vegetables. Eat as many vegetables as you want. Put a tablespoon of fat on it. This is eating whole food. This is ancestral-based diet lifestyle. This is a paleo ancestral whole foods diet. Call it that. It is a lifestyle change in the regards that you are not eating processed food. So you can't eat processed food and get health. If you eat empty calories, you have empty health. And so when you're eating any kind of stage 4 ultra-processed food, which comes in a bag in a box, it is not food. It is processed chemicals. And so you want to look at how can you get food that's going to support your health so you can get a brain that functions, so that you can feel better in your body. And that can really help you get the clarity you need. And so when you start to do this and you get that clarity and you understand what it is you're working towards, it becomes easier. And then it becomes that bulletproof mindset because you're ready to do this. You want to do this. You want to get those results, and you're never going to go backwards because you feel so much better. You feel amazing. You have energy in your body. This is it. This is it. This is the bulletproof mindset. This is the results that you're going to get. And this is the last diet that you will ever need to be on, because when you do this low carb method, my holistic low carb method, you get results. And the results could be something as just better energy. It could be, it might not be rapid weight loss in the beginning, but it could be less pain in your body, more energy, and it could be better sleep. Like, I've met clients that didn't sleep, and all of a sudden they have less insomnia, less hopelessness. How can we get your body and your brain and your life back on track so that you have health freedom, so that you can age backwards and have the life that you want in longevity? And this is for women specifically. You need to have muscle mass. We are made of meat. We are made of amino acids. If we do not take in amino acids, we cannot build our muscles, and we will shrink. Our body will become frail. Your brain will shrink if you do not give it fat. And so you end up with Alzheimer's from the lack of protein and fat. And so that's how you age and become frail. And then if you fall and break your hip, it's just inevitable for when, you don't have life left. So how can we create our better lifestyle that we want to live? And we just got to look at our why. Why do we want it? Do we want to get down on the ground and play with our kids, our grandkids? Yes. Do we want to be able to not be in a nursing home? We want to stand up straight and go for a walk on the beach barefoot. We want to be able to be healthy in our 90s, dancing and taking up hobbies, playing pickleball. I still have to do that. But it's not having asthma and allergies and feeling brain fog and sitting down on the couch and watching TV because you don't have any energy. That's not living life. That's just existing. But you can get clarity of your mind. You can get those weight loss results. And this is going to be the last time you have to lose the weight, because that's what I'm doing. I lost my 100 pounds. I lost 60 pounds in menopause, and I'm never going back to where I was before. I get to wear cute clothes now. I'm excited about that. I love to be able to just pull clothes on and they're loose. And I go for a walk and my pants are falling down because I'm wearing a size 8 petite, which, they fit, but then after a while it feels like they fall off. And so if I guess I can't go jogging in a pair of jeans. I mean, I'll just go jogging in whatever I'm wearing, just do a sprint down the street. And so thank you, Fast with Michelle. I appreciate you. And hi, Chrissy from Crescent City. Thank you for joining me. But I really just want to be able to empower you, because that's when you win. When you have the right mindset, when you pull in a bulletproof mindset, when you hang out with somebody who's been there and done that and have a lived experience and the success and knows what works for permanent weight loss, to reset your metabolism so that you could be healthy in your body, so you can feel vibrant, look vibrant, be beautiful at 61. Oh my God, I've never felt so much beautiful in my body. Some days I look a mess, but I feel good when I put my face on and fix my hair and put on a pretty shirt and get out and ground and do some dancing in the sunlight. I love all of that. We want to feel great in our body. We want to have that. And we can have that after 50. Weight loss after 50 does happen. Don't accept that somebody tells you can't lose weight after 50. Yes, you have low estrogen, so we add it back in. But first we have to test and not guess to see what's going on with detoxification and methylation, so know that it is safe to have HRT. And then you want to make sure that you get your metabolism reset. You have to reduce insulin resistance, reset it, get rid of the leptin sensitivity. So these are the things that are the underlying metabolic situations that you have to fix. And that's why people don't get permanent weight loss. That's why you starve yourself, you exercise, you lose a little bit when you gain it all back, because you did not maintain insulin resistance. You didn't lessen it. When your insulin levels are elevated, you'll have to eat a different way. And so the way to do that is to eat less carbs. And maybe you can do 100 carbs and lose weight. Maybe you can do 75. Maybe you can do 50. Maybe you need to do 20. I mean, It just depends on your body and where you are in your lifestyle. And the thing is with diet, you can do this diet on your own. And I, recommend to everybody, get out there and do it. But guess what? As a woman over 50, just like Fast with Michelle's saying, we have to do intermittent fasting. And this is what I'm doing this week. For a while there, I was doing black coffee thinking I'd cut back on the fat. Because, you hear it all the time, cut back on the fat, lose the weight. But you know what? That never worked for me, ever. I'm really good with fat and protein. And that is my body type. I am a protein-based body type. And I have to have protein. So you'll see me, like if you check out my stories, I ate 2 ground beef patties with avocado today. With I had kimchi earlier, and I had some asparagus with that meal. And I feel really good. I'm stuffed, and I'm not eating anything else today. I'm just going to hydrate. It's 3 o'clock my time, Pacific time. I'm going to hydrate. Yesterday I had 2 cups of dandelion, burdock, and chamomile tea. I had some coconut milk water with turmeric, and I think I threw in some lemon juice in there or something. I don't remember anymore. And then I had another one like that today. And then I had my electrolyte drink, a big cup of that. And then I had my Zeolite detox drink with water. And I drank that. And I didn't have to get up and pee at all last night. And guess what? My heart rate was down to 47. As a 61-year-old, my HRV popped up over 50. I had a really good HRV. So that's when you know your body is working. And so our body doesn't want to digest food later at night. So the sooner you stop eating, the better you are. I read a book called, and if you need a book recommendation, just ask me, because I've read most of them. I keep abreast of what's going on out there. And so the book is called, I don't know if I get it right. It's a bright orange book by Tara, I think. And it's basically, I'm not coming up with the name right now, but it is talking about fat as an endocrine organ. So if you understand that your fat is an endocrine organ and that you get to control your fat growth and you understand what's going on in your body, it makes weight loss easier to manage. And so The Secret Life of Fat. I told you I'd come up with it. So The Secret Life of Fat. And so what she discovered is, like, her mom couldn't eat past a certain time where she would gain weight back in the day. And she was the same way, same body type. You know, everybody around her would be able to eat whatever they wanted to eat, but she couldn't. She would gain weight. And so she realized, as she went through this as a scientist and she wrote this book, she goes, I'm a scientist. I'm going to figure this out. Why do I gain weight? And so she can't eat past 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or she will gain weight. And so she knows exactly how many calories she can eat. I'm not that strict. I'm kind of just, depending on my schedule, will do what I want to do. But what I started doing again is I went back to bulletproof coffee, and I am full. 1 tablespoon in the morning of C8 MCT oil with some ghee, and I'm good to go with my coffee. And now I'm drinking less coffee. So that was the other thing. I was just starting to drink more coffee. And then I'd eat breakfast early, and then I'd have lunch. And then I would nibble more on some nuts. So I wasn't really satiated. And so with the bulletproof coffee, you can get super satiated and start burning more body fat. And so then I started trying to eat earlier today, and I really couldn't eat. I had to stop eating because I was full. But I ended up then having just 2 ground beef patties with avocado. That was lunch at about 1 o'clock. Finished that, done eating, went for a walk, did my weights. And I don't eat any more food for the rest of the day. I am just going to fast. But I don't feel like I'm fasting. My body is just done eating, and it is going to digest all of that and be done digesting by the time I hit the sack tonight around 8 o'clock. So I'm just going to hydrate, and I feel perfectly good, because if I get to 3 o'clock, I've trained my body that as long as I'm at 3 o'clock and I feel like I'm full, I don't need any more food after that. And so that's what you want to focus on, is when is a good time to eat. And if you're over 50, we do have to do intermittent fasting, because we need to keep our insulin levels low, because we are more insulin resistant, because there is less hormones. And so we need to balance our hormones when we can. If we can afford HRT, do it. If you can't, then there's other things to do. I always guide my clients into areas that they could do, as long as they're methylating, they're getting their B vitamins, they're detoxifying, they don't show any stoppage on their Dutch hormone test. We want to know what your hormones are doing. We want to know that you're in the clear and that you could add estrogen in, and that's not going to cause any problem. And so there's some things that you can do there, and there's a lot of good information on that. And we don't want vaginal atrophy. We don't want to have sleepless nights. So you might need to dial in progesterone then, because progesterone's nature's Prozac. We need that to sleep. And we need the magnesium glycinate to help us sleep as well. And if you don't have the right electrolytes, you could be dehydrated. Because if you're trying to do a salt-free diet and you don't have salt in your diet, then that could cause problems too. There's a book out there called The Salt Fix that I'm listening to again. And it talks about all the history of salt, and it talks about all the studies. And, we do need a specific amount of salt to have better heart rate. And so that's something to always understand as well. And so one of the things you can do really easy is make a salt sole. So look up salt sole, and I take a teaspoon of that every day. I actually do a couple tablespoons of that a day because I want more salt in my diet, not less. And so if you're having late night food cravings, somebody is asking about that. What you need to do is add more fiber in the afternoon. So soluble fiber, you could do PGX powder. That's really good to lower your insulin response at night. And you may need to do a evening dinner. It may be too soon for you to be doing intermittent fasting. In the beginning, if you've got a lot of cravings, you need to eat 3 meals a day before you do intermittent fasting so that you can manage your cravings, so that you can get your fat and protein and be satiated to have a better managed insulin levels. But if you're craving things at night, that's because your sugar levels are too high. And so what you do is you bring in the fibers, the soluble fibers, the flax, the chia. The PGX is amazing. And you might have to take the PGX before bed so that you don't have those sugar cravings in the morning or at night. And then don't do the fasting yet. Do the 3 meals a day. Make sure it's fat and protein and no snacking in between. And then at some point, you can get to the point where you are doing 2 meals a day and you're able to burn more body fat. But you just don't want to do the snacking. We do not need to do the snacking. If you're snacking between your meals, you're losing out on the opportunity to burn your fat. And so your body needs to burn through all the glucose in your blood system before it can go into your cells and pull out the fat. And then the first month on a low carb diet, what you need to do is actually you need to reset your liver. You need to burn all the fat that's built up in the liver. That's fatty liver. That's non-alcoholic fatty liver. When you are on a high sugar diet, you have a fatty liver. You have liver inflammation. And so you need to get your liver healthy to lose the weight. And that's part of the process. If you're drinking alcohol every night, that's sugar. That is a toxin to your liver and to your brain. And so so that's something that you need to think about. Is it more important to have health over a drink of alcohol? That's also something that you need to consider because it's super important. And the PGX protein, you could just get that off of Amazon by Natural Factors. You can just get it in a powder or you could get it in a pill form. But there's also noodles out there called konjac noodles or miracle noodles, and they're made from the konjac root powder. And you can get those and you could add those to food. And again, you could use the flax and chia with coconut milk and some monk fruit and just make a fiber pudding. Because I'm doing a metal detoxification from aluminum, I do like to do a fiber pudding. I'll do a probiotic yogurt that I make myself, a coconut yogurt, and then I add in a couple of scoops of hemp, a scoop of chia, a couple scoops of flax. You can mix all that up with coconut milk, add some chopped nuts if you want to, and that's good soluble fiber. And then that's going to also help to slow down your insulin surges and make your body feel full. Because sometimes when we're used to eating a lot of food, it may take a while for us to feel full. And so you could eat that after a meal to make sure you are more full. But I mean, if you ate 8 ounces of ground beef, you are not going to be hungry. So it could be you're just not eating enough of protein. And so it's not 2 eggs, it's 5. Or if you're going to have a little sausage or bacon with it, take away an egg. And so it may, in your ground beef, it may not be 1 patty, it may be 2. And it's not 1 chicken leg, it might be 3. I mean, if I'm eating chicken wings, it's a whole pound of skin and the meat that I'm eating of that. I'm not quite sure how much protein it is, but we just have to eat more protein so that we can build muscle. And because your muscle is your basal metabolic rate. If you're not eating to build muscle, you're going to be frail and you won't be able to, you'll always have to struggle with what you eat because you're not going to have muscles. The more muscle you have, the more you can have, you could eat more and have more carbohydrates from vegetables and fruit and not gain the weight. And so the overall goal is, thank you. The overall goal is to build that muscle. That's what I'm doing right now, guys. I am 61. I don't go to the gym, but I got some muscle here. Let me see if I can show you my muscle. Nope. I guess it's not showing too good. Anyway, there's muscle in there. And I'm anabolic, which means I build muscle. But if your stress levels are too high and you're not out there grounding and getting sunlight, you could be catabolic. Catabolic means you're breaking your muscle down, that you're breaking your body down, that you're going to be frail and you're going to break a bone. So we don't want that. We want to be able to get ourselves into a low carb diet when we're over 50, because when you're on a low carb diet over 50 as a woman, you're going to be able to manage your insulin levels better because we are insulin resistant. So I'm just going to do a little bit of recap. After 50, we become more insulin resistant because we have less estrogen in the body. And so we can do HRT. There's a lot of good information out there. It is safe to do HRT, but you need to make sure that you're methylating, that your body's detoxifying, that you're not constipated, that your hormones are functioning the way they're supposed to, and any practitioner can help you do that. And so that is something that you want to do with people who know what to do, like any kind of functional practitioner is going to help you with this, because we all study it and we all understand it, but we also know that the problem is the body's junked up. Been eating all this junk all our lives. You got to unjunk it. You got to make sure that your digestion's working. Do you have enough stomach acid? Is your bile functioning? Are you able to digest the food you have? Are you digesting your fat? Do you have malabsorption? Do you have protein putrefaction in your intestinal tract? Do you have dysbiosis, bad bacteria, parasites, H. pylori? All of that can be mapped out with a GI map, which is a stool test. It's one of the tests that I offer in my program, and I will analyze that for you. And I will analyze your hormones and your adrenals and your cortisol levels, and we will put a picture together what your health looks like and what you want to go towards. I just redid a metabolic analysis for a client I've been working with for 6 months, and she's had some adrenal exhaustion, and she's been working on correcting her diet, making the food shifts she needs to, managing her stress, dialing in the right supplementation, resetting her metabolism, getting her sleep, and getting her body ready to lose the weight. That's where we've been in 6 months. Hopelessness is gone. Sleep is there. No more insomnia. I was just texting her and said, oh my God, look at this. And so much improvement on her score for her metabolic analysis, because I'll put it out. You could have 500 symptoms in your metabolic analysis from my adrenal and my metabolism scorecard test sheet that I'll send to you. And so much better. I was so excited going over that. It was just incredible. And the hopelessness gone, depression less, everything less. That is what you want to look at. You need to rebuild your body to get healthy, to lose the weight overall. Some people have less interference and some people have more. And so we get rid of the interferences, but we got to find out what they are. And that's why I use the 6 labs to figure out where your inflammation is, because you're going to have it, what's going on in your body, what bacteria have, what your hormones are doing, and what your adrenal levels are, so that we could actually get in there and figure out exactly what you need to do. And so, yes, it's a process. That's why I call my program a low-carb method. It's because I use holistic low-carb lifestyle and doing shifts in your diet and lifestyle, and just eating a whole foods ancestral diet is really what it is. And then when we bring in the right quality fats, when you give yourself an oil change, when you look at the clean side of food, when you look at food as information and food as nutrition, and then you get targeted supplementation based on what's going on inside, under the hood, in your body, so that you get the results you need in 6 months, so that you can get healthy to lose the weight sooner than if you were to try to figure this out by yourself. But please get started and do it by yourself anyway. If you're not going to work with me, that's okay too. I want everybody to choose health and have health freedom, and let's feel beautiful in their body, because you should want to have that. You should want to feel that way. Everybody deserves to have this. It is my passion, because it's my pain to purpose to passion, to my promise to serve you over 50, especially women over 50, because that's my story. That's my pain to purpose to passion. Because if I could lose the weight and get from 225 pounds to have my best ever picture that I've posted in my reels and in my blue dress and on the beach and looking amazing, I'm like, I can't even believe that's me. That is actually me at 60, looking the best I've ever looked, and better than I've looked in my 20s, in my 30s, and my 40s. And you know what? It was hard. There were tears. I had to learn it. I had to follow people. I didn't have my own method. I had to develop it. And so now that I've developed it, I can give this to you, make it simpler in that 6 months. And I do have a 1-year program. So I've got a beta launch on my year-long program. So if you've got diabetes and you need that support, I've got it. And, but the 6-month program, what's it worth to you? Like, are you a 10? Do you want to have the health that you need? Do you want to get down on the ground? Do you want to not be in a nursing home? Do you want to have health freedom? Do you want to get out and have that dream body and go out and have that dream vacation? Do you want to just dig out those beautiful clothes out of the closet and wear them because you're so tired of not being happy every day when you get dressed? Those are all the things that you deserve to have. That's priceless. Your life is priceless. And it's my job to serve you and exchange energies with you to give you the results that you want. And the first month, my client lost 11 pounds because that's what happens when you reset your metabolism and you take away the interferences of your food sensitivities. When you find out what's going on under the hood and we start correcting them, the first month can be really quick and you're really excited. And I'm going to be there for accountability. I'm going to support you, and I'm going to get you those quick wins and stay with you and check in. And if you need daily accountability and let me know what you're weighing in, you weigh in. Because you know what? It's not to weigh in and be judged by how much you weigh. A scale is a tool. You could take your measurements and you can step on that scale and you could see that this is the weight I'm starting at, and I know I'm going to go down. But I'm also going to maintain my muscle mass. So sometimes the scale will move and sometimes it won't. And so what we want to do is weigh in every day, because when you're on a low-carb diet, you want to know if you're resetting your metabolism. And if you're starting to drop 5 pounds, that means you're resetting your metabolism, because you have to turn off that sugar switch. When you turn off your sugar switch, your body changes and you drop the water out of your body. That's when you need to go. You might be going into the keto flu and you need to add in the salt and potassium. You need that salt solé. I had a client that started that salt solé, and she was really worried about adding salt into her diet. But she goes, oh my God, I can't believe how much better I feel using this salt solé. She had so much more energy. And then I had a client that worked with me for 3 years. She was stalled with her weight loss and worked with me for 4 to 6 weeks at that time, dropped 5 pounds. 3 years she was stalled and not getting what she needed. And so sometimes you just need to just find those little bits and pieces of the puzzle. And my head's full of these bits and pieces of puzzles from all the books I've read. And each client's different in a different place. And I'm going to meet you where you are. I'm bringing you forward and try to give you encouragement and help you develop your bulletproof mindset and help you get that radical change that you need to live life beautifully and adventurously your way. Ladies, this is transformation, not a diet. And you are worth every investment in yourself, because this is part of our self-care, to build the best body that we can have after 50, to live life the way we want to be. I think it paused on me. It said I wasn't using this for some reason. Okay, anyway, hopefully I'm still here. So get out there, make some changes, do a food shift this week, write it all down, try to figure out how to get 30 grams of protein into each meal. You know, we are protein beings. We need meat. You need to have amino acids. And sometimes we need extra fiber in the beginning. It just depends on what the gut looks like and what's going on. If you've got a lot of IBS, you might need less fiber. If you have diarrhea, you might need more. If you have constipation, you might need less. It's all going to just depend. And so that's why you keep a journal and you just kind of figure out what it is that you need to do. If you need extra help, I'm here. My low carb method. I'm taking calls. You ready to sign up? I'm only taking 3 women over the next 5 weeks, because that's a lot of work for me, because I am on call and you get my cell phone number. So if you're interested in setting up a call, let me know. My low carb method. This is my pain to purpose to passion process. My low carb method and my bulletproof mindset, my lived experience is all going to go into my program for you to help you figure out what your weight loss solution is. And we're going to uncover all of your hidden healing opportunities and your weight loss blocks. And we're going to put you back together again like Humpty Dumpty, because you can. We really can. Our bodies want to heal. If you take away the interferences, your body will get back into homeostasis as best it can. And we're going to follow the FDN DRESS principle, where you get diet, rest, exercise, stress, and supplementation, along with 6 diagnostic labs. And you only pay for 3 because I bonus in 3. So you can get results, and you can get them this year. Whether you're a man or a woman, I could work with either. I've helped my brother. He no longer has diabetes. So it's only so much we can say on social media, right? He does not have diabetes anymore, but he did. And his doctor was trying to put him on insulin. And he's off all medications. And you know what? Here's a tip. And I do this once in a while too. He had trouble getting off his blood pressure medication. That was the last one to go. And finally, he he decided to mouth tape. He got off his blood pressure medication just from that alone. So it's super powerful. If you're a mouth breather, you're going to have cardiovascular disease. And so that could be something to think about. So take a look at that and see if that makes a difference from you. There's a book out there by Nestor. It's a bright yellow book called Breathe. Really good information about how we could change the palate of our mouth and correct our, snore less and correct our breathing. And so when I'm exercising, I'm always keeping my mouth closed when I breathe in, and I'm breathing out through my mouth as much as I can. And so those are some things that you can do. So if you're interested in working with me or finding out more about me, you could, follow me, tag somebody, tag a friend. I'm about ready to celebrate. I am about ready to have 2K followers. I appreciate all of you, and get ready for that. I just boosted another reel that I think is super powerful. So go back and listening to my reels, because I put my heart and soul into those reels. I put my message in there, and I use that music as a projector, and I am projecting out how I feel and how you can feel, and that desire to lose the weight and get healthy and be beautiful in your body again. So go back and watch my reels and tag a friend and help me get to 2K. I'm almost there. I'm probably 6 away. So I should be there by the end of the day. I appreciate you. And if you have any questions about working together, let me know, and I'll see you soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.